Good afternoon, everybody. It's your pal Martin Melhead here. Hope you're going well. Just gonna do quite an interesting video today while I trim my nails. Now, I got some really exciting news to tell you. Is that I've got tickets to the Winter Olympics in Milan, or Milano next year. So, how I got the tickets was the following. My buddy John, whom I've met in 3 continents now, in America, Australia, and Europe, he sent me an email and showed that the tickets for the Winter Olympics were on sale now, and he said go and get them. So he said, I've got these tickets for the women's ice hockey on this date. Now, I myself, I am yet to go to a Winter Olympics. I've only been to the Summer Olympics when they were in Sydney in 2000, because that's where I was living at the time. I was only 14, I went with my brothers. I won tickets to the hockey, and then my mum bought tickets to the athletics. So it was quite awesome to be there at the time. But I have yet to go to another Summer Olympics, even though I was in London during the 2012 Olympics, and the Olympics were in Paris last year. Reason I didn't really go to the Olympics last year in Paris was I didn't really want to spend full price on accommodation, because dorm beds were like going to be €80 a night. And I thought, well, I could probably just go there for the day, but then train tickets would also be expensive, and the only way in and out of Paris cheaper would be to fly. So what I'm doing is, I've bought a ticket to women's ice hockey at the start of the competition, and then I've got a flight from London to Milan. Now, as for accommodation, I'm likely to figure something out. I'm probably going to stay outside of Milan because it'd be way cheaper. I was just checking. The hostels in Milan were going to be costing $150 a night for a dorm bed. I mean, this is not a private room I'm talking about. This is a dormitory room, no privacy whatsoever. So, your best bet if you're going to Milan when Olympics is basically to stay an hour outside of Milan and then just transport yourself in and out. Now, I was only planning on doing maybe a 3-day turnaround trip and go back to London after 3 days, but I haven't bought a ticket back to London. I thought to myself, it's been so long since I went to San Marino. I was 25 when I went there, my first trip to Europe, that I didn't spend a whole 24 hours there. And I know I saw a few things in the 3 hours I had in San Marino, such as those castles, the parliament that was closed, and I paid €5 for a passport stamp. I just think I really should have just stayed 24 hours to really mark it off, because there are so many countries in the world that I've not done a whole 24 hours in, just like the UAE. I've been to the UAE so many times, but never spent a whole 24 hours. Apart from that, Milan and other airports in Italy, they do fly on Wizz Air to some exotic locations like Jeddah. And so I'm thinking maybe after the ice hockey game of the Winter Olympics, I could go with John and Kelly to San Marino, and we could go on to somewhere cool like Jeddah, even Eritrea. Eritrea was an Italian colony. I've been wearing this Eritrean bracelet for a whole year. I've vowed never to take it off until I get to Eritrea. And plus, but sadly there's no direct flights from Italy to Eritrea, but funny enough, there are actually direct flights from Italy to Libya, but Libya is a bit of a basket case to travel to. Now, I've always wanted to go to the Winter Olympics, but it's always just been in a really bit of an iffy situation with all the locations. Like in the 2014 when Olympics were going to be held in Russia, and I was living in Australia at the time, so I wasn't really in the right mindset to be, traveling from Australia to Russia. When the 2018 Winter Olympics had happened, I was working in London. I thought about going over to Korea, but I couldn't really get the flights cheaply enough. And then so the last Winter Olympics were held in China during the time of COVID-19, so nobody was allowed to go in, so it's quite unfortunate. So I'm quite impressed that I'll be able to go to the Winter Olympics next year. Another thing my brother had bothered me about was basically I'd never been to a football World Cup. Now, I do like football, or soccer as you people call it in America and other parts of the world, but it's never really been much of an interest to want to attend the World Cup. I mean, the last World Cup was in Qatar. I could have gone there easily, but I was much more interested in touring around Southern Africa. It's like with the Commonwealth Games. The last Commonwealth Games were held in Birmingham. At the time, I really could have just gone up. I could have just got tickets, but stupidly enough, transport to Birmingham around the Commonwealth Games is going to cost more than my ticket to an actual event like lawn bowls or shooting or rugby sevens or athletics. And plus, it was a few weeks until I was going to go to Southern Africa, so I just really wanted to save my money. And also another thing my brother pestered me about was Eurovision. You've never been to a Eurovision. First and foremost, I don't really give a crap about the music of Eurovision because 99% of the time it's always shit. That's just my opinions. But it was like the time when Voyager, that metal band, represented Australia 2 Eurovisions ago in 2023. I saw Voyager many years ago in Sydney at the Get It Club, and they'd been around for many years, and it was quite impressive how they were able to be selected to compete in Eurovision. But tickets to Eurovision are hard to come by. It's not like buying a ticket to, let's say, Peter Gabriel at the O2, or Dream Theater at the O2, or Foreigner at the Royal Albert Hall. You have to be in a lottery to win it. And the thing is, if I don't like the music, then why should I bother going to Eurovision and just sitting down and having to deal with all this crappy music? I mean, I did watch the last few Eurovisions, but it's always all about like politics and music and troll songs that just doesn't really interest me. And when you think about it, you think all these different countries, well, why can't Denmark send King Diamond, or why can't Germany send Destruction, or why can't Sweden send Opeth, or why can't Norway send Aha, or why can't the United Kingdom send let me think of a metal band. Well, Onslaught, yeah. Because the only time I ever really cared about Eurovision was when Lordi competed in 2006, and I was a brand new metalhead. And I thought those guys were so amazing, I knew they were going to win, and they did. And they won, and that was the only year in Eurovision that I really gave a crap about it. As long as the time when Voyager competed. So, I really can't wait to get to the Winter Olympics next year. I'm not really wanting to go to the World Cup next year because I need my visa from America, but I can still go to Canada and Mexico. But it all depends on who qualifies and where they're going to play. I haven't seen much of Mexico. I'd like to go to Mexico City because I've only been to Cancun. And as well as Canada, I've only been to Montreal and Toronto, so there's other parts of Canada I'd like to see. So anyway, ecstatic that I've got tickets to the Winter Olympics. Milan Metalhead, over and out.